Well, hello everybody and welcome to a very special episode where we're going to make something as a gift. It's my dad's birthday coming up and the guy loves nothing more than pasta. So we're gonna make a Northern Italian classic, something that I know he's going to love. We'll make pasta bolognese. Now, pasta bolognese falls under the category of a ragu. It's very meat-centered, and it takes a little while to cook everything down. But I love the process of making this, and you're left with a very rich sauce that goes great with a thicker pasta, something like a tagliatelle, Paperdale, something that can hold the weight of the meat sauce. It's fairly straightforward and not too technical, so I really hope that you guys are going to cook along with me today. Going over our ingredient list, this is what you're going to need. 1.5 pounds of ground meat. I have a mixture of beef and pork. 1 cup of whole milk. 1 bay leaf and a pinch of ground nutmeg. About 1 medium onion. 1 carrot, 1 celery stalk. 125 grams of pancetta. 4 ounces of tomato paste. A cup of white wine, about 2 cups of chicken stock. This is going to be our homemade chicken stock. You can watch the video up here if you'd like to make your own. I highly recommend that you do. We're also gonna need some salt and pepper and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Our process is fairly straightforward. The first thing we're going to do is brown off our meat. We're going to make a sofrito with our carrot, celery, and onion, cook off our pancetta, and then we'll start building flavors on top of that. It's going to be a really wonderful process that takes some patience, but yields wonderful results. The first thing that we need to do is make the sofrito. If you don't have a food processor, then get to chopping. I do, so let's make that real quick. We'll set this off to the side, and next step is to brown the meat. Let's get started. First things first is to brown off the meat. So I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil to this pan. Add the meat. I like to do a pork beef combo. You can do all beef, or if you have access to veal. One thing we want to keep in mind is we don't really want to break up the meat at this point. It's going to do so later in the process. We are trying to get just a little bit of color on it. So kind of encourage, without breaking it up too much, try and encourage it around the pan. And then with a slotted spoon, take everything out, leaving behind the remaining oil. And we're gonna wipe this pan out before we add the pancetta. I'm now gonna add one of my favorite ingredients to cook with in Italian cuisine, pancetta. And very similar to bacon, we just want this to render out some of its fat and crisp up a little bit. Really embrace getting some brown bits on the bottom of the pan at this stage. It's that Maillard reaction that's going to really carry over to the rest of the sauce so well. We're getting close to this being done. Maybe another minute or two, and then we'll add our onions, carrots, and celery. Add the vegetables. Oh yeah. Here, where our vegetables are starting to kind of stick to the bottom of the pan a little bit, we know that all the moisture's gone, and this is exactly where we want it. We're gonna add our meat back to it, and then we'll add our wine to cook down. We'll cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the wine is evaporated. The wine is nice and reduced down, and the meat we've broken down into these little bitty pieces, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now it's time to add our tomato paste, nutmeg, and bay leaf. And we're just gonna stir this in and cook for about 5 minutes. If you're still finding pieces of the ground meat stuck together, just go ahead and keep encouraging it to break up as you go. First, we want to add 2 cups of our chicken stock. We'll also add our cup of whole milk. Now we want to put this down onto the lowest setting possible. We want to simmer this for 2 to 2.5 hours until the meat is very tender. And simmer is the operative word. We don't really want to see any bubbles coming off of this. We want to cook low and slow. So I'm going to put this on the back burner and I'll show you what it looks like a couple of times throughout the process. And if it gets too dry, you can always add a little bit more chicken stock. And this is us 2 hours in. I think we look really good. We just need to reduce a little bit more and then we'll be there. Well, the bolognese is finally done and we've cooked off some noodles just al dente. We've added the sauce to them just to finish it up. I'll show you what I have and it looks superb. It looks great. I'm super happy with the way that this came out. It's such a fun little dish and I mean, there's a lot of inactive time. Just those 2 hours. Whenever you're taking something like this, go ahead and twist it to get some height. Be sure that everything's coming together. I did add a little bit of Parmesan cheese when I was heating up the pasta with the bolognese. Helps kind of thicken up the sauce a little bit. We're just gonna finish with some grated Parmesan cheese over the top, and just like that, we're done. It looks fantastic. I'm super happy about the way that this came out. How would you guys modify it, and who would you make this for as a gift? Such a wonderful treat to share with people. So for Mike, actually, I know just the guy to give this to. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good for an old man.
Yeah. Well, as the audience knows, I wanted to bring you by something. I made you a little something special for your birthday.
Fantastic.
It is Pasta Bolognese.
Well, what could be better than that?
Yeah.
I never get tired of that.
Great. Well, it's everything that you need. It's the noodles, it's the sauce, and put a little bit of Parmesan cheese, but just wanted to hand it off to you during these strange times, but to make sure that you got to have a little something special for the birthday.
Just having you is something special.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Unscripted. All right, well, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And from my dad's front porch to you, happy cooking. We'll see you next time.